Well, good morning. It's just another day to be alive, another day to worship God for the life that He's given us, and the opportunity to live in these times. Again, these times are a little bit different than what my parents grew up in. My parents grew up, of course, during the Great Depression. And there were food lines and all kinds of turmoil back then. And we had the wars, and so I guess in their lifetime they experienced a lot that we have been spared from for all of most of my life as well. But it's not to say that we won't see food lines again. It's not to say that we'll be involved in some sort of a war, because Jesus said there will be rumors of, there'll be war and rumors of war, and we certainly see that overseas in this part of our lifetime. So we are living in some pretty remarkable times, tough times for many, and as the need grows for the basic essentials to live, as our economy continues to get worse, we, the church, should be out there giving a helping hand to feed and to clothe and to minister to those around us. We need to minister to those family members, our neighbors, and yes, even the strangers. All churches today, I believe, should have a food program to reach the lost. Tough to listen and to receive the gospel on an empty stomach. You can sit there, greet them, talk to them, but if they have a need of hunger, they're more concerned about the hunger that's within themselves. So we need to feed the hunger in the stomach and the hunger in their soul. And what a way to open the door to minister than the bread that we've been sharing from this church for the last, I guess, 7 months now. I kind of lost count. Probably maybe 7, 8, 9 months we've been sharing the bread. So for those who are listening on YouTube, and if your church that you attend does not have a food program, I encourage you to start one. Encourage you to try to get your church involved. And if your church won't get involved, I urge you just to visit a food pantry once in your area and become a volunteer. I guarantee you that your life will be changed, and by serving God, He will open the doors of blessings upon you. It just takes one visit to a food bank to see just the need out there. And God will open those doors of blessings to you that you won't be able to contain. So I pray that you join us in prayer to reach all those in need and help any food bank you can, including ours and those we're associated with, Pump and Mission of Love there in Bangor. And we appreciate any donations, whether it be food, clothing, your time, and any monies that you can donate to further the outreach in our local area, because there's great needs. My wife and I were commenting, actually, she mentioned, I guess yesterday, the day before, that more and more food pantries were popping up. Pretty amazing. It's kind of like you're driving around, all of a sudden, whoop, there's a food pantry. Oh, this church is having a food pantry. Whoop, this church is having a food drive. Doesn't take much common sense to figure out why. I just know the Pump feeds 157 families a week, and I know that the Mission of Love feeds 127 families a week. And the need is still there. The need is great. And they feed those families within Mission of Love is only open 2 hours, and Pump is open, I believe, 3 hours. So to have that many families come through is pretty amazing. And I'm glad that we've become involved with those programs.
Yeah, pump used to feed 100 or 240.
No, I don't know where the...
Yeah, that was 2 years ago in November.
All right.
And,
So the pump's been operational for about 24 years.
the reason I know that because we, as Lions Club sponsors, and
Okay. So they've been sponsoring them for 24 years.
157. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. That's down. Some people are getting on their feet.
Either on their feet, or they've moved, or they're going to other, because don't forget now, in 24 years, more pantries are coming online
Right.
and getting the food. For us, for Dare-to-Be-Different, we seem that the doors seem to have closed using the building in Martins Creek, which saddens me. We weren't given an opportunity to present a case for the use of the building. We met with a supervisor, and then she took notes, and then we were never put on the docket to be heard last Monday. So again, we weren't put on the agenda. We were just told no. So we're still praying to make a response. So we're going to put that right now on hold for the moment, just to be a closed door. That's not where God would have us go. Very interesting that after I found that out, and again, I'm going to give two examples of how God is always working behind the scenes. We never realized that until we step back and we look back and we say, oh, God was working here, God was working here, God was working here. In our case, when I found out the door was closed, I was kind of disheartened. But God opened up another opportunity to look at a 9,000 square feet piece of property. And I'll talk about that more in a moment. So it was a very exciting week. This week, Bill and I installed a small portable AC unit in one of the small Sunday school rooms to keep the bread cooler, since our church is air conditioned. We want to extend its life a little bit longer. So we're thankful for the space that Mount Bethel gives us, and as we look for our own building, which is ongoing. Again, we on Monday got an excited phone call, and that was from the director of the Senior Citizen Center, and they've been in contact with the Gendel family, the one who's known for their turkeys. I guess they even send turkeys to the White House every year. So they've been working with one of the Gendels, and unbeknownst to them, we've been working with a Gendel, Dave Gendel, and he's going to try to help provide some food to the pump. So the exciting part is we found a building that the Gendel family owns, 19,000 square feet. Senior Center would like 10. That if they divide the building, they would leave me with 9,000 square feet. Don't ask how we're going to pay for it. Don't know. But I'm going to walk through that door as I can until God closes that as well. But it's just very interesting that they were looking at this building on Sullivan Trail, and the Gendels were working with Pump concerning a food donation. So we'll see how that goes. I'm trying to get a meeting with Dave Gendel, very hard man to get in touch with. But through that contact with Mr. Gendel, we took a trip to the Blessings of Hope in Lancaster. That's where he's going to bring some of the food from Lancaster into our area here. So again, hopefully these connections would lead to a senior center in the building. Now, get this vision, because it's cool. You'll have a senior center in this building, and right next would be a food pantry. So if they're bussed in from wherever they're coming from to spend a day at the senior center, no reason why they can't go over and pick up their food and not have to worry about shopping. The food will be there. The milk, the eggs, the cheese, the meat, the bread, canned goods, and all that kind of good stuff. Plus the added bonus is they can give back to the community. If they go to the senior center, they can also volunteer at the pantry for the couple hours that we would be open every week. So again, that's something that just happened this past week. So if God opens the door, it's indeed a big venture and a massive undertaking. You're talking about finances, you're talking about freezers and refrigerators and the expense that goes along with those. So I'm asking God for some big things. Jesus said, you have not because you what? Ask not. This past Thursday, Bill and I made another connection with Bimbo Foods. And we were given a large quantity of food and all kinds of bread, and even on racks with wheels. It amazes me. It amazes me because Thursday morning I was in conversation with Pepperidge Farm, and the bread that we've been getting, the bulk of, was promised by the Campbell Soup Company, who owns Pepperidge Farm, by the way, to other local churches in Morris County. So they kind of have first dibs to the bread. So it kind of looked like we may be phasing out of Pepperidge Farm, but for right now, we're going to just get as much as we can, the leftovers that Morris County doesn't take. So again, as long as it's churches, we're all in the ministry together. We can't. If other churches for 10 years have been taking it, then we need to find. God will open up some other sources. And that Thursday, again, it's just interesting. I have a great relationship with God because he and I had some words. Like, why would you open the door to Pepperidge Farm? And now we don't get that bread, and we need that bread, we promise that bread. And here along in the afternoon, Bimbo comes. So God is already working. God knew that Pepperidge Farm was probably going to leave, and now we have Bimbo bread. So, yeah, God is always one step ahead, and that's the way I like it. So this week, we got Thomas, we got Sarah Lee, we got Neighbors Harvest, we got Entenmann's, we got Myers, we got Entenmann's, we got Bimbo bread, and Stroman's, and Freihoffer's, and that's just some of the bread that we have access. So not only do we not just get a lot of one kind of bread, we have the potential of getting a lot of different kind of bread, because a lot of people like different things, different breads. Some people like Mayer's. Oh, we also got Arnold this week as well. So just very thankful to God for what he supplies and for Bimbo. So hopefully we'll get 2 days worth of Bimbo every week. And oddly enough, it made up the shortage we had from Pepperidge Farm this week. So we have the right amount of food now, even though we were cut back a little bit from Pepperidge Farm. Just to show how God works. Someone was picking up bread on Thursday as well for a pantry that we serve in New Jersey. And she was reading a devotional when I had shown up. And this is, again, everything that I had gone through this week with the ministry here. And my adopted dad, of course, has been going through some tough roads with his cancer. I pray that you keep him in prayer. And I visited him on Wednesday. So Thursday morning, this is what was, whoops. Oh, I hate when that happens. I forget this stuff moves. This was July 19th, and this is what this young woman shared with me. Bring me all your feelings, even the ones you wish you didn't have. And I was wrestling with God on that Thursday morning about Pepper's Farm. Feelings per se are not sinful, but they can be temptations to sin. Blazing missiles of fear fly at you day and night. These attacks from the evil one come at you relentlessly. Use your shield of faith to extinguish those flaming arrows. Affirm your trust in me, regardless of how you feel. If you persist, your feelings will eventually fall in line with your faith. Do not hide your fear or pretend it isn't there. Anxiety that you hide in the recesses of your heart will give birth to fear of fear. Fear of fear is a monstrous mutation. Bring your anxieties out into the light of my presence, where we can deal with them together. Concentrate on trusting me, and fearfulness will gradually lose its foothold within you. So again, that was a timely word that God was trying to share with me from third party, and it was kind of cool. The most exciting news that I was privileged to go with the Mission of Love and Pump to visit Blessings of Hope, which is another good source of food for us. So right now we have other food sources besides the bread. And for example, during the wintertime, the other food sources don't give you vegetables. Well, the Blessings of Hope, you could get vegetables even during the winter months. So again, the mission, this Blessings of Hope, actually came introduced to us by the Jandal family, so which is pretty cool. One of the things I wanted to make mention, again, remember Pump's been in not been in business, but been helping people for 24 years. Mission of Love has been in operation now probably 13 or 14 years. This organization was birthed out of a garage back in 2006. So we're talking about another, 12 years? Birthed out of a garage by two young men. And 2018, they distribute an average of 123 pounds of food every week. 123,000 pounds of food, which equals about 100,000 meals. The food is donated by distributors, food manufacturers, local bakers, farmers, and grocers. Started in a garage 12 years ago. Do you think our economy is getting better or worse? We're feeding more families today than, to think that they're feeding 100,000 meals a week. It's pretty awesome. And we have an opportunity to be part of that. So that's kind of cool. I'm glad. I wanted to read a couple cards real quick. Time is fleeting. From the mailbag. This is from Broadway United Methodist Church. Dear Reverend Gary and the volunteers at Dare-to-be-Different, after a disappointment of losing our free food donor, a friend of our church led us to your food bank. Thank you and bless you for all you have done and are doing. This is a wonderful gift to all in the communities you are helping. Jesus is called and you answered. So here's a pantry that lost their free food donor, and somebody passed the word along. They came and saw us, and now they get food back for the pantry. Kind of cool. Again, God always working behind the scenes. We don't know it, but it certainly is just a blessing. This one comes from the Slate Belt Senior Center in Bangor. Dear friends, we want to thank you so much for the twice weekly bread donations that you have been delivering to us. Many of the clients are on a fixed and low income, and others aren't able to shop by themselves. As you can imagine, this vital dietary staple is really appreciated. And that kind of, I had gotten that a couple of weeks ago.
That ain't in the old beehive, is it?
What's that?
That isn't in the old beehive. It used to be a youth center.
No, it's the Bangor Community Center now, by the farmers up there. I guess the farmers' grounds with the farmers' fair, I guess, is on that property. So yeah, they use that center.
Pennsylvania Avenue.
In Bangor, I think so. Oh, I'm not. Let's find out. It tells me the address right here. 707 American, Bangor Road. So that's pretty cool. Again, God always providing needs that He knows our needs way before we even ask. He gives us more than we ask or think. So.
That's very much appreciated. That you get cards back that people are being fed and they're down and out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the sad thing is, we all may be there someday. So you never know what life brings us.